Good day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and every member of the Cha Cha Geng across the globe. Welcome to another episode of the Cha Cha album review series on the Cha Cha Music Review Podcast with yours musically, Hafeestonova. Today, I'll be talking about the Olamide's new album titled Carpe Diem. And before I do that, let me pass this message across to everyone that is listening to me out there. I have a voice, you have a voice, and collectively as youth, we are calling on the Nigerian government to end the SARS unit of the Nigerian police force because they've done more harm than good. While we support the police in fighting criminals, we totally stand against the victimization of any innocent Nigerian youth. Our message is clear and simple. End SARS and end police brutality. Thank you.
This in a pond. Keep listening to Cha Cha Music Review Podcast by Hafeestonova. Do not turn it down.
Now, this Carpe Diem album from Olamide is his 10th solo studio album. Yes, I say solo because Olamide has worked on about 12 album projects. You have Two Kings with Phyno, and you have the YBNL Mafia compilation album. So yeah, I think 12 in all. But generally, this is Olamide's 10th solo album, and this album was released on the 8th of October 2020, and the album contains 12 tracks featuring the likes of Omah Lay, Fireboy, Peruzzi, Phyno, Shmurda, and Bad Boy Timz. And the production credit goes to Pheelz, Mr. Producer, Jonn the Wicked Producer, ID Cabasa, VStix, and 18 years old P Prime, which also produced most of the songs on the album. Now, two songs of this album that I will not be reviewing is the song titled Eru and Greenlight, because these were the songs that were released as a single of the album. I won't also be doing a track-to-track review of this album. Instead, I will give you a summary of the album while making reference to some of the tracks. Also, let me just say that if you are expecting to hear the street and the vocal Olamide on this album, then I'm sorry to disappoint you. That is not what you're going to get on this album. Like I rightly said when I was reviewing Greenlight, this is a new kind of Olamide, a much more cool, calm and collected Olamide. This album is the different album from every album that Olamide has made. This album was made with the intention of appealing to a much more wider audience, not just the hardcore street fans of Olamide. Now, this album kicks off with the song titled Another Level, and Olamide used this song to introduce us to what to expect from this album, as Olamide raps in English, Pidgin and Yoruba. This is a very decent song to kick off the album, as Olamide also talks about his music journey on this song, where he started from and where he is and where he's heading to. If not, the song is going to be a 7 over 10. Now, for those of you doubting whether Olamide can still rap or whether his rap flows are still good, well, this album is the perfect answer to all your questions, because Olamide did more of rapping on this album. But that wasn't the only thing he did. Olamide also put a Drake on us on this album. And when I'm saying Olamide put a Drake, I'm talking about Olamide being emotional. All rapping about love. Majority of this song is, basically about love. We have songs like Greenlight, you have songs like Infinite, features Omah Lay, you have At Your Service, you have Chimichanga, you have Unconditionally Ft features Peruzzi, which is, by the way, one of the best, if not the best song of this album. I mean, Peruzzi really came through on this song, and Olamide's flows were also on point. And shout out to VStix for the production of this song. Everything about this song is just good. This kind of song that you give a 9 over 10 rating. Now, another love song on the album is the one with features Phyno, which is a Shilalo. And trust me, what is an Olamide album without a Phyno feature? I mean, that album is never going to be complete. And you already know now, when these two comes together, what they do is to do what they create magic. Now, the party tracks on this album include Eru, which I'm not going to be talking about. Also, we have Do Better. Now, Do Better was produced by Jonn the Wicked Producer, and this is the only song you can literally say is a street song on this album. We are looking for that song that has, Shakti Bobo vibes, Wo vibes. Then this is the song that you should definitely listen to. This song also reminds me of Olamide's previous song that he did about 3 or 4 years ago, talking about Audible, which was also produced by Jonn Producer. This song has the same, pattern and the same vibe to that same song. Another party track on this album that I like, which is probably one of my best songs on the album, is the song titled Loading, which features Bad Boy Timz. I mean, Bad Boy Timz also came through on this album. And let me just quickly add to this that every feature on this album was on point. Every featured artist brought in their A game, and there was no mismatch feature. Not the song you will get, if I don't feature this person here, if I feature that person here. No, every feature on this album was dope. Let me just quickly mention this. Fireboy's debut album, Laughter, Tears and Good Poems, has been submitted for a Grammy consideration. What that means that Fireboy's album, Laughter, Tears and Good Poems, might get a Grammy nomination under the category of World Best Album. But that aside, like I said, Fireboy appeared on the song titled Plenty, which is the perfect song to end the album, as Olamide, talks about, you know, his music struggle, his life struggle. This kind of song you give a 7/10 rating. Now, for me, the best song of this album, and which is the standout song of this album, is Jonn titled Triumphant, which features Shmurda, which was also produced by Pheelz, Mr. Producer. Now, everything about this song is dope. Shmurda really came through on this song. As a matter of fact, Shmurda murdered Olamide on this song. Shmurda made Olamide feel like a guest artist on his own song. But then again, Olamide was able to pull through because Olamide and Baba, his rap flows were on point. Olamide used this song to talk much about his personal life struggle, especially how he dealt with the death of his father and his mother, how that affected him. You know, that line where he was talking about him changing his hair color from yellow to green to yellow, and a lot of people thought it was swag. Meanwhile, he was literally, you know, losing his mind. That place was just on point. And once again, shout out to Pheelz, Mr. Producer, for the production of the song. I mean, Pheelz just shows his production genius on this song. I swear, Pheelz now, Baba. This is the kind of song that you're going to give a 9/10 rating. All in all, this is a good album coming from Olamide, and credit must be given Olamide for the hard work that he put in this song. I mean, this is his 10th solo album. You know, easy for an artist in Nigeria to release 10 albums. It's not easy, trust me. So yes, if not for anything, credit should be given to Olamide. But that aside, like I rightly said, if you're looking for that street vibes, that street energy Olamide, you will not get that on this album. So you might listen to that and say, this album is trash, I don't like this album, because you didn't get that. But as a music critic, I will tell you that this is an album that you should definitely pay attention to, and this is an album you should definitely listen to. This album will do well in the first week of it. Let me say in the first 2 weeks of its release. Then after that, it might begin to die down a little bit. Then after like a month or two, the album will also shoot up. And the reason I'm saying this is because right now, a lot of people might be confused on how to receive the album. Like, I don't know, I like him, I don't like him, because of the cool, calm and collected Olamide that turned up on this album. If it was the usual Olamide, trust me, I know a lot of people have just take this album and they will just break it out of proportion and say, oh, this is the best album Olamide has released. If I'm to say, I'm not going to say this is the best album Olamide has released, and I'm not going to say it's the worst album Olamide has released. If I'm going to rank it, I'll say to rank between one of the top 5 albums that he has ever released. All in all, like I said, this is a good album that you're listening to. Rating of the album in general is going to be a 7/10. With that, I have come to the end of another album review series. But before I go, let me give a quick shout out to my friend, talking about Oluwaseun Femi PS, aka Preco. On the 8th of October was your birthday. I wish you long life and prosperity. That said, the next album that I will be reviewing is either the Yemi Alade Empress album or the Be Red Jordan album. Either of the two I get my hands on, those will be the next album I'll be reviewing. And if I don't get my hand on any of those two albums, then it has to be the Made in Lagos album from VStix, which will be dropping on the October 15th. Once again, shout out to everybody that is supporting the End SARS movement. This is a movement that we should all lend our voice to, no matter where we are in the world, because Nigerian youth are being victimized and are being killed and are being extorted and are being treated like animals by the section of the Nigerian police force known as SARS. So we need to end SARS and end police brutality in Nigeria. Once again, my name is Hafeestonova. It hasn't changed and it will never change. It's like come your way with another episode. I say end SARS and end police brutality. Thank you.